Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, Mysterious Voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today it is Poetry Thursday, so I wanted to talk about some interesting poetry that I wanted to talk about. And it also gives me an opportunity to talk about some Gazan poetry because I wanted to share some Gazan voices in the wake of the Israeli invasion of Gaza. Is I guess what I'm labeling it. The hostage crisis and all of that. So I just wanted to share that. And today's poem is all about sounds. I am referring to Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear by Mosab Abu Toha. For those who don't know, Mosab Abu Toha is a Palestinian writer. He's known for writing short stories, essays, and poetry. He's founded a library, and he's even worked for Harvard. He frequently writes about his own experiences, especially the Palestinian experience. When I was doing some research on who this person was, after having found his poem, I found a lot of current writings about what's been happening in Palestine and Israel. So people have been turning to him for opinion writing or just for analysis of what's been going on in the world, which I find to be very interesting. I'm very happy to talk about him and talk about his poetry and also talk about what's been going on with Gaza, Palestine, and Israel. Particularly noting the colonialist invasion of Palestine by Israel. And, at the time that I'm talking about this, one of the news things that I saw today was that the IDF apparently bombed a refugee camp. And so, it's been getting increasingly to the point where you can't say, one side is inherently good and one side is inherently bad. It's very clear. No, it's getting to a point where you can say that, because if you bomb hospitals and refugee camps, places where regular civilians are at, that makes you bad. There's no, other side of the coin there. You can say, oh, we're trying to get the terrorists, but how many innocent civilians need to die in the process of getting one or two terrorists? That it doesn't make any sense to me. Make it make sense, as they say. So, not very happy, and I'm sure a lot of people aren't very happy in it. But I'm sure the world doesn't need another white person, very privileged white person talking about this. So, I'd rather much share a Gazan voice on the matter. So I'll talk about this poem, but I'll also link to one of his most recent articles in the in the description, so be on the lookout for that. And so without further ado, let's talk about Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear. 1. When you open my ear, touch it gently. My mother's voice lingers somewhere inside. Her voice is the echo that helps recover my equilibrium when I feel dizzy during my attentiveness. You may encounter songs in Arabic, poems in English I recite to myself, or a song I chant to the chirping birds in our backyard. When you stitch the cut, don't forget to put all these back in my ear. Put them back in order as you would do with books on your shelf. 2. The drone's buzzing sound, the roar of an F-16, the screams of bombs falling on houses, on fields, and on bodies, of rockets flying away. Rid my small ear canal of them all. Spray the perfume of your smiles on the incision. Inject the song of life into my veins to wake me up. Gently beat the drums so my mind may dance with yours. My doctor, day and night. And so that was things you may find hidden in my ear. In terms of analysis, there's a fair bit to talk about with this poem. In terms of narrative, there doesn't really seem to be a narrative apart from like a doctor working on the narrator's ear and using a bit of magical realism to say, hey, when you're looking in my ear, you might see these great things, but you might also see these bad things. When you stitch it up, leave those good things there, and when you stitch it up, take away those bad things. I like how they separate, like Toha separates this poem into two parts. The first part being focusing on the positive. They say, you may encounter songs in Arabic, poems in English I recite to myself, or a song I chant to the chirping birds in our backyard. When you stitch the cut, don't forget to put all these back in my ear. So the first part is reserved for things that are meaningful to Toha, or to the narrator at least. And in the second verse, they say, the drone's buzzing sound, the roar and of F-16, the screams of bombs falling on houses. And they say, rid my small ear canal of them all. And then spray perfume so that you could probably help forget about those awful memories and replace it with something that smells more beautiful. And then it says, gently beat the drum so my mind may dance with yours, my doctor, day and night. And I think they might have a romantic relationship with their doctor because, usually your doctor doesn't come at night. So maybe a little bit more of an intimate relationship there. And in fact, the poem is dedicated to Alicia M. Quesnel, MD. And I looked this person up. They might be Mosab's lover or something like that. I don't know for sure, but I do know that they are a Boston ear doctor, which I think is funny. Dedicating a poem about ears and stuff to an ear doctor. I think that's pretty interesting. And then the last thing worth noting about the poem is the sort of magical realism. So noting all these good things and saying, putting that back in your ear, like they're shoving all those good things, those good ideas into the ear so that you can remember them. And then, when you're near the ear again, when you encounter all those bad things, just get rid of them. You're tossing them into the trash, disposing of memories in a very magical, realist kind of way. And then spraying perfume. So again, you could have better memories there. So it's utilizing magical realism to talk about the horrors of living in a place that has seen quite a bit of war, but also recalling the very positive things that you've experienced. So the narrator in this poem, perhaps even Mosab himself, he's seen quite a bit. He's experienced a lot of good, but also a lot of bad. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear by Mosab Abu Toha, which I think is a high quality poem. I definitely recommend you check it out. It's very endearing and very warm-hearted and touching. I really wanted to share the poem because I thought it was high quality, but also I wanted to share a Gazan Palestinian voice during this very tumultuous time. It's always sort of tumultuous in the Middle East because of American shenanigans and whatnot. So I guess it's important to call that kind of stuff out too. But if you have any thoughts on this poem or whatnot, or you simply want to call me out and say, why don't you talk about any Israeli poets, do so below. But I will assuredly tell you, that I've already talked about Israeli and Jewish poets on this channel. But if you're not going to comment that and you just want to comment other things, let's have a conversation about this poet in general. And then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so that more people can find out about this poem or this poet if they don't already know. Also join the Discord if you want to have a conversation outside of YouTube about books or movies or whatnot, other things and such. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and Gazan travels. Remember to free Palestine.